All right, guys. So BackgroundNPC, I don't know how many of you guys have seen BackgroundNPC. I actually found her through Asmin. She did a pretty good video, and Asmin watched it and reacted to it. And I actually had a lot of respect for BackgroundNPC. And she's basically blown up from like a 600 viewer channel to like a 200,000 viewer YouTube overnight. She does really good job, really good commentary, and really good original videos. So I kind of want to check this video out with you guys really quick. We'll sit down, we'll watch it, we'll hang out. And then if the video's well, we'll put it on YouTube. And if it's not, then we won't put it on YouTube.
Imagine spending billions of dollars to buy some of the most beloved heroes and stories in entertainment history, and then systematically destroying everything that made them loved in the first place. Yeah, that has basically been a Disney strategy for the past decade or so, and now I guess they're finally starting to see the consequences of their actions, and they are shocked that a large portion of their male audience has completely disappeared. For decades,
I mean, they've definitely done with this with some of the like biggest, most profitable IPs in the world. And like some of these like big mega IPs were definitely designed for men, but because the content was so good, it brought in viewers from outside of that sphere, right? Like if you do things exceedingly good, you will pick up more fans. But basically what has happened is they've just turned their back on a lot of the original fans and sort of like pussified a lot of these like movies and shows in a way that is like very degrading towards men, and put a lot of like forward, like female characters forward in a way to try to attract female audiences, but in doing so alienating their entire male like viewership. And when they did that, all of these movies failed because these were movies and shows that were intrinsically made for a male audience that doesn't translate very well to just pigeonholing it to a female audience. As long as a Star Wars fan, this is going to hit hard. Yeah, it like what they did, you cannot take IPs that were specifically designed for men, just change them like wholeheartedly, and then just expect women to buy onto it.
storytellers like George Lucas and Stan Lee created incredibly impactful empires, stories that were designed by and specifically targeted towards men, stories for men, stories that brought fathers and sons together, masculine characters who were strong, competent, and unapologetically heroic, the kind of men young boys dreamed of becoming. And these were not just movies or comics, they were cultural icons that shaped entire generations. Then Disney bought them, and slowly, methodically, they decided that everything men loved about these stories and characters was problematic. Now, somehow, these same executives are sitting in boardrooms asking, where did all the young men go? Let's just be honest here. If they are being this open about it, it is probably safe to assume they are not just seeing a lack of interest from the Gen Zs. It's clearly men of all ages, but please do correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Before we dive into
she's true though. Like you can't just, we got older. Even with us getting older, like the thing isn't that like we out-aged a lot of these movies. Like I still go back and watch Star Wars, right? Or like I will still go back and watch Marvel. Like I'll watch the old Iron Mans. I'll watch like the entire like Endgame series. I'll watch all of those movies and still enjoy them today as much as I did when they first came out. But the new Disney, I can't watch. Like I've not cared for any of the new Star Wars, and I've not cared for any of the new generation Marvel that's came out basically since the end of the original arc. Like I just don't care about it. It's just not written for me. These shows aren't written for me anymore. They're written for some other audience that isn't me. And then because of that, me, and I'm assuming a ton of other people, just aren't tuning in.
Everything today, I just want to be super clear. Of course, women can and do love these stories and characters too. I'm one of them. But today we are talking about why men in particular have walked away from franchises their fathers and grandfathers loved.
And back to her point, like women did like Marvel. Like I know a lot of women that enjoyed Marvel movies. And that goes back to what we said at the beginning of the video, which is if you make good quality content, it will transcend your audience and bring in additional audiences. But if you try to make some slop, junk, woke, non-offensive crap that is supposed to get everybody in the planet interested in that movie, you have effectively made a movie or a TV show for absolutely nobody, and nobody is going to tune into it, instead of making something that some people enjoy, and then because it's so well created, crafted, and received, that it grows its own audience base. Yeah, you gave up on them? Yeah, dude, I've not really done anything with like Disney in a long time.
And why they're not going to come back. Not as long as the people in charge fundamentally despise what they represent. Starting with the Variety article, yes, you heard that right, Variety article, that has kicked all of this off. This problem has been festering for years, but Disney is finally admitting the quiet part out loud. They have lost a big portion of their male audience, and now they want to create new IP specifically for them. But that is going to be quite the up.
Chat. Why are you making new IPs for your male audience when you have Star Wars and Marvel that you already own? Like, why are you going to go out of your way to create brand new IP when you have some of the best IP for male audiences literally sitting in your inventory? That'd be like, the only thing that would make it worse is if they also had Lord of the Rings. And they were like, well, we have Lord of the Rings, and we have Star Wars, and we have Marvel, but for the life of us, we cannot figure out why nobody with a penis wants to watch these shows anymore, so let's come up with brand new IP. And it's like, dude, you have the most testosterone-filled IP in existence in your vaults, and you just refuse to use it? What the fuck, chat? Retardation is the minimum. I just don't understand it.
Battle, especially when you take a look at their track record. Let's start with the complete.
They can't outdo the originals. I don't even need them to outdo the originals. Just stop fucking making them suck, right? A lot of the time it's terrible writing as well. Absolutely, but the terrible writing isn't going to be fixed by a new IP. You have people that can't take current IP and turn it into a good film. So you think that like your writers are going to be able to come up with an entire new IP, an entire new world, an entire new scope of existence, and somehow write it in a way that gets like a bunch of people interested? Yeah, it's like this idiocracy that doesn't make sense. They think that they can do it, but they can't even do it with what they have, and it's very little lifting that they would have to do with their current shit. They're making stuff woke for the woke crowd, and they're in the minority. Male characters get like emasculated with stories and are filled with cringe, hence the general public doesn't want to like watch it. Absolutely. And that goes back to what we were talking about before. If you try to like just sterilize all of these movies and sterilize all these shows and you make them for literally nobody, then don't be surprised when nobody shows up. I don't see how they're going to be able to make this work.
Deconstruction, mockery, disrespect, and total assassination of beloved male characters. An easy jumping off point is Luke Skywalker, the literal embodiment of hope, turned into a bitter, disillusioned hermit who abandons his mission. Han Solo, the heart of gold smuggler who became a deadbeat dad and who walked out on his family. Indiana Jones, because I guess Harrison Ford just can't catch a break. Once clever, bold, resourceful, now a bumbling old man getting upstaged by his condescending goddaughter. Thor went from a noble warrior to a complete joke, so much so that Chris Hemsworth actually regrets how he played this role. The Hulk, no longer rage incarnate, but now a green Instagram influencer dabbing and taking selfies. I laugh, but it's actually really sad.
I mean, she literally just hit the nail on the head though, right? Like when you take all of these really good iconic characters and then just upstage them at every turn and take away anything that everybody cared about from these shows, then what is going to happen, right? Like obviously all of the people that enjoyed them are just not going to enjoy that because they didn't. My favorite part of like Hulk like two of my favorite parts of like Hulk in the like the most recent Marvel universe was like one when Hulk grabbed Loki and treated him like a fucking fly swatter. Made me laugh my ass off. One of my favorite moments in like the entire Marvel series of just like this mix of like testosterone and like humor and like all of it, right? Like that was so fucking funny. And then the second moment was like in one of the later movies when they came back to the same scene and like Mark Ruffalo had to turn back into Hulk, but he has like kind of been demoralized as Hulk, right? Which makes sense within the world, right? And he's like standing there and he's like, they're like, you got to Hulk out. And then they're like, make sure you smash some stuff. You know what I mean? And he like turns into Hulk and he's like, ugh, like fucking like begrudgingly like hits a car and flips shit over. And it's just so funny because it's so self-aware. And those moments like make the show fun, right? They allow you to have those like fun moments. And you can even have a defeated Hulk who still like makes sense to be defeated, but like it still plays within his character. That's why, like, to not go too far off on a tangent, that's why I actually liked the new Ballerina movie. I liked the new Ballerina movie for John Wick because they allowed the Ballerina character to be strong, but John Wick was still John Wick. And if the new Ballerina character would have made John Wick look like a bitch, then I would have hated that movie and wrote off the entire series. But that was like a good way of making it be good while still letting the essence of John Wick exist.
Because over and over, we have seen the heroic male archetypes be
You can't replace and Chris Evans and end up like you can't replace these guys. They played these roles too good.
dismantled and humiliated, with their strength reframed as some type of flaw or their competence as ignorance. But that is only half the story here. Disney didn't stop at just ruining the
Part of it's like making the old characters look weak so they can sell new ones. I hate that because like I get what you're saying and I hate it because like the old characters aren't weak and they should like you should emphasize like strengths of new characters by making them strong and by writing a story, right, that shows why they're so strong. Right? Like emphasizing their strength while not diminishing every other person around is the right way to do it.
these iconic heroes. They then proceeded to
she's
replace
great,
them
man.
with female leads, brought to life
I'm happy
with
Asmund
terrible
found her.
writing, and supplemented with all the girl boss messaging. Now, our Marvel and Star Wars leads consist of Captain Marvel, who lectures and looks down at everyone, She-Hulk, who sneers at both the audience and the story she's in, Rey, the most bland, boring vanilla character there ever was, Ironheart monologuing about Tony Stark's privilege, and basically the entire Acolyte cast who spent entire episodes explaining why the Jedi are problematic. Gee, I wonder why this Star Wars show was canceled. The list goes on, and it is no accident. Disney has been extremely intentional about all of this. It is the result of a modern ideology that says traditional masculine heroes and the values that they represent are inherently wrong and oppressive. And to get even more specific, these changes were not about inclusion or diversity at all. It was about rejection.
It was about exclusion. It wasn't about diversity, equity, and inclusion. It was about excluding people that you do not like and that you find problematic. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is used as a way to exclude the people you don't want and to pick the people that look like you. It is literally just another form of discrimination. Yes, it's just another form of discrimination where you can discriminate against people that you don't like, messages you don't like. Bigotry is another great word. And that's what it is. So it's just allowing you to do it under the guise of trying to make things more diverse and more inclusive by excluding people that you don't like or that you don't think the same way you do.
of men, of masculinity, of masculine strength, of men being leaders, intelligent, honorable, competitive. Do you remember the whole "The Force is Female" campaign from Kathleen Kennedy? These creators hate the very things that made men fall in love with these stories in the first place, and you cannot create something meaningful for an audience you despise. Men, and
What up,
let's
Snake?
be honest, women too, appreciate
Fuck
beauty.
me, Jack.
That is now seen as shallow.
It is true, though, men and women do appreciate beauty, even though society wants to tell you that it doesn't happen.
They love competition, where there are actual winners and losers.
And that goes both ways. Like, women like to see pretty women on stage, and they like to see attractive men. Men are the same way. They want to see pretty women, and they want to see big, buff, strong guys that they wish they looked like on stage. Like, Beer Belly Thor was funny, but nobody wanted to be fucking Fat Thor. That's why he was called Fat Thor, right? Like, he was the butt of the jokes. You still appreciate beauty and booty? Exactly, Chips.
That's toxic. They want to see characters who earn technical mastery through struggle. That's boring. What about stories with clear moral conflicts, where objective good can triumph over objective evil? Well, that is too simplistic and way too traditional. What about the desire for adventure, to protect the innocent, to honor codes and brotherhood forged through
Everyone's
shared
beautiful in your
struggle?
eyes. Now, I've seen ugly people. I think it's fine to call ugly people ugly. I think it's fine to say babies look ugly. I don't have a problem with that, unfortunately. Like, I have no problem calling things ugly. I think it's perfectly fine.
It's all problematic. It all needs to be fixed. Disney did not update the formula for good. They declared war on it, and then they acted surprised when the audience left. But Disney was not alone. The gaming industry joined in too. Games like Call of Duty needed to be more inclusive and inherently less masculine. The Last of Us Part 2 killed off the father figure of a generation and framed his protective instincts as wrong. Star Wars games stopped being about power fantasies for players and started.
Would you say it to them in open public? I mean, if they asked me. Would you want me to, like, not tell people the truth?
To feel more like lectures. The Battlefield series has faced many issues, if we're being honest, but Battlefield 5 specifically ditched historical accuracy for.
Not the babies are ugly. Dude, I always hate when people, like, point at a baby and they're like, isn't it cute? And I'm like, no, it looks like a short, fat, bald midget. Doesn't look cute at all. There's nothing about this that is cute. It looks like a fucking shrunken person with way too much skin. Not cute.
Representation. Ghost of Yote, replacing our beloved Jin Sakai with a, you guessed it, female lead. We see the same pattern.
They don't ask, would you tell them to just be honest? No, because that's being a dick. Like, just walking up to people and telling them they're ugly is being a dick. There's a difference between, like, safeguarding people's, like, right to exist without feeling like shit. You don't walk up to people and just outright insult them. That's rude.
Everywhere, and the results speak for themselves. Star Wars Outlaws greatly underperformed. EA's Battlefield sales took a dive. The Marvels had the worst MCU opening ever. Indiana Jones was a financial flop. Star Wars films have been in a theatrical drought for years. Numerous gaming studios are being shut down, experiencing mass layoffs, or hemorrhaging millions. International markets are rejecting updated content. They told us that it was about inclusion, about making.
It's surprising, right? Like, everything is failing from your business decisions. So what do? You just double down on the business decisions and you tell consumers they're wrong. That is by far the best business model. And that is exactly what they teach you in Business 101. Do not give your customers what they want. And then when they complain that it's not what they want, belittle them, chastise them, and tell them that they are wrong for wanting something different. And they should consume the product that you're selling, even if they don't want it. Come on. And then you do this shit for years and still get to keep your fucking jobs. Get the fuck out of here.
Content that everybody could enjoy. But where is everyone now? These companies have left
come on,
billions on the
Magister.
table because they cared more about sending a message than respecting their core audience. Because this was never about everyone. It was about taking things that were created with a male audience in mind, things that they loved, that they built identities around, and completely destroying them, while scorning the very people who made them successful. And when the fans
Absolutely.
said, "Whoa, wait, what are you doing?" they were told that they weren't needed, that they were toxic, immature, you know, all the yes. It's
Where's the genius
truly
America you grew up with? It's never been here.
really gross cycle. Spending our money to destroy what we love and then demanding we be grateful for the privilege of participating. And this goes back to what I was saying before about how you do not see this going both ways. I mean, can you imagine if men did this to things that women love? If they took romance novels and said, you know what Pride and Prejudice really needs? More explosions and less emotional vulnerability. If they decided that this
Bro, I'm watching that movie. More explosions, more guns, less vulnerability, less emotions. Like, dude, sign me up.
Sims needed more combat mechanics. If they looked at Barbie and said, yeah, this sisterhood and friendship stuff is way too exclusive. Time for some military training. That would be ridiculous, right? And
I would love it. Just do it both ways, right? That's all I've ever asked for is like, just do it both ways, right? We did get Pride and Prejudice with zombies, fair. Now with corners, like a lol.
the outrage would be immediate and justified. But somehow it is fine to do stuff
You
like
can do
this
it one
to
way.
franchises and characters.
You can do it one way. You can implement diversity, equity, and inclusion as long as doing it allows you to discriminate in the way that you want to discriminate.
That men have built connections around for decades. And like I said at the start, franchises that lots of women already enjoyed. What makes this so sad is this is not just about grown men feeling angry or disappointed. This is about young boys growing up without heroes they can relate to, about fathers who can't share their childhood favorites with their sons, about an entire generation learning that there is something wrong with wanting to be strong men who
I
are
enjoyed the
protective
first
and
Iron
heroic.
Man, you know?
That is not
I think the first Iron Man really opened everything up to really allow the MCU to take off. I think Robert Downey Jr. did a great job, and I think the success of Iron Man really allowed them to push what was being shown and allowed them to really start to really consider making the MCU a thing.
progress. That's a tragedy. But while all of this has been a bit doom and gloom, here is what gives me hope. While Disney and the other major studios were busy alienating their male audience, other creators remembered something important. There is nothing wrong with making things that men love. Top Gun Maverick made no apologies, just a competent, skilled, emotionally grounded man doing what he's great at. 1.5 billion at the box office.
shit.
John Wick, a man
Yeah, I didn't watch The Maverick, but John Wick is like chef's kiss right now. Is like the one show that just cannot stop stacking W's.
with a code, loyalty, loss, justice, just pure masculine storytelling that treats its protagonist and its audience with respect. Warhammer
Dude, just like to go back to John Wick. I think there was like 7 lines of fucking dialogue in all of the first John Wick. It's so good. Who are you watching this video? I will link it to you in the description when we're done. She's called TheBackgroundNPC. She is so good. John Wick is just such a chef's kiss for me, man. Like, he is like so, like that whole series is one of the only series in like the past like 5 years, 6 years, 7 years that has just came out for dudes, and it was just unapologetic. I remember standing in line for the first Iron Man, a bunch of complete strangers, like bound over shared interests, both men and women, all hyped to share excitement. You cannot find that in new shows. Everyone tried to give up on it too, yeah. And it's just, it's so good.
40,000 makes no apology.
Oh, Space
for being
Marine did really
masculine,
well.
Gritty,
I know we've got some people that don't like it in the chat, but like Space Marine did very well for itself as a game.
gory, and bold, and it fully leans into all of it. And I can safely say this is not a game for me. And you know what? That is a good thing. Helldivers 2 has seen insane success, and it's a game that celebrates brotherhood, sacrifice, and purpose. Now, I have talked about my love of Eastern developers at length at this point, but again, titles like Black Myth Wukong, Stellar Blade, and so many others are fearless about appealing to their audience and also thriving because of it. These creators get something
Absolutely
Disney
true.
forgot. There is beauty and financial success in making something specifically for your male audience by targeting them directly. I mean,
Absolutely.
that is just common business sense, right? I mean, it doesn't mean women can't also enjoy it, but men deserve to have entertainment that speaks to the things they like.
So here, I'll tell you this one. So here's one. I am not a very emotional guy. I don't care. I don't care about emotional things. Like typically I don't give a shit, right? I'm very much your guy's guy. I went and watched Freakier Friday with Rusty. Thought it was a great movie. I am not the target demographic for that movie. Definitely not the target demographic. That movie was definitely written like for women in any way that I can look at it, but the movie was good. So because the movie was good, I was able to enjoy certain aspects of it and go, you know what? This wasn't a bad movie. That is like an example of something that is written or made in a way that is well enough or decent enough that it goes beyond its target demographic, and somebody outside of the target demographic can go, you know what? This wasn't a bad movie. You know what I mean? The first one was good as well. It's very much in line with the first one, right? So I think that right there is a prime example of this working both ways. Like, I very much love my guy action movies, but I can watch, like, Downton Abbey is definitely one that I think is written in a way that very much like teeters the line of male and female audience in a way that is so good that it acquires people on both sides. You like her videos? Dude, she's good. You like From? It's a new IP. I don't know what it is. If these are like movies and shows, guys, like go to the Discord and like at me, go to like the shows section and be like, hey, Judge, this is what I'm talking about, this show or this game. I'll check it out when I have time.
Nature, their struggles, and their aspirations. If you're trying to win back men, the success formula is not complicated. Respect your core audience. Don't apologize for masculine themes. Create male characters who are
like
leaders
Lost.
and
Never
competent
watched
and
all of
heroic.
Lost.
Have all the beautiful women, and trust that compelling characters and good stories will find broader audiences naturally, as they always have. When you create something with love instead of contempt, audiences feel it. When you celebrate masculinity instead of deconstructing it, men respond. It is not complicated. It just requires basic respect.
Bro, can we like move her from like being a YouTuber to like, I don't know, CEO of like concept and design at Disney? Like this woman is so good at like just understanding things and articulating it from like a very neutral standpoint. I've watched a lot of her content. Can we just like replace Disney like execs with like background NPC?
At the end of the day, this is not just about entertainment. This is about the kind of culture we're building for ourselves and future generations. For over a decade, we have been told that masculine interests are somehow
they don't want to understand
selfish
people.
Or
No,
by
they don't.
Default exclusionary. And by taking these iconic franchises and doing everything to them that we've talked about today, that is a big reason why men of all ages are walking away.
They won't allow it? Dude, I'm the fucking judge here. I'll allow it. Fuck them.
More creators who celebrate their male audience, who see masculine virtues as something to highlight, not cure. And we need to understand that for everyone
is true.
Usually means for no one. So
for everyone is for no one, and you're right. She makes sense. So because of that, she's not allowed to work in corporate America.
Disney asked where the men went. Here's your answer. They went where they felt respected. They went where their preferences weren't treated as problems to solve. They went where having heroic male leads was not something that needed a constant apology. And I think the damage really has been done at this point.
Just sub to her? Dude, she fucking cooks. Code.
If Disney really wants to try and fix this issue, they're gonna have to eat a big ol' slice of humble pie, because it requires admitting that what they have been doing is wrong. And they're going to—
Men didn't go anywhere. They're just not going to watch your slop. They're not buying your games. They're not giving money to people that don't respect them, respect their opinions, or respect their right to exist in the world anymore.
To have to repeatedly create new content that's actually, you know, good. The roadmap does exist. Other studios and developers are proving that it works. You just have to be willing to respect the men who made your franchises valuable in the first place. And
to be fair, this doesn't mean that you can't respect women as well. This isn't about respecting one and not respecting the other. This is just about making a choice to make content for a targeted audience and not making junk that nobody wants to watch or play. You're making sense. You're not allowed to do that.
Start building things for them.
Guys, I absolutely love the background NPC. I think she is absolutely amazing. Here is going to be a link to the video. So if you guys want to check out the background NPC, there's a link to her video right there. Click on it, go over, give her a like. Give it a good old like. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Like the video, subscribe to the video. She makes a lot of good content, and she makes a lot of really good points. I think she's smart, very level-headed. I'm very happy that Asmin reacted to her content the first time. She literally went from a 600 subscriber channel to a 200,000 subscriber channel overnight because of the Asmin Gold sort of like effect, and because she makes good content. If you make good content, people will latch onto it, and you will see success over that. And that doesn't matter if it's YouTube content or if it is Disney IP content. At the end of the day, just respect your viewers, make quality content, and you will succeed.